Strength training is the difference between aging gracefully and just aging. Muscle's your body's armor. It protects your bones, it keeps your metabolism alive, and it helps you move like you're still in your 20s. Ignore it, and you won't just slow down, you'll lose the ability to do simple things like get off the floor without help. I'm going to tell you a story about one of my favorite members. His name is Chris. Chris came to us when he was 73 years old. The story behind why Chris came to us in the first place might be amusing to some, but to him, it was kind of a gut punch. He was at a crosswalk and he saw a guy on the other side of that crosswalk that was in crutches. And being in those crutches, he had a really hard time hitting the button to go click the crosswalk to be able to cross the street. Now, I don't know why the crutches wasn't the thing that got him, but the fact that like he wasn't able to easily hit that button and get across the street just sort of hit Chris. Lately, he'd been not able to get up and off the floor as easily as he used to. He could still do it, but it was a challenge. He needed to grab onto something. I mean, he's 73 years old and he had a successful career, but never really focused on his body as much as he probably would have liked to. So fast forward to being 73 years old, having more time on his hands to be able to dedicate to something like this, and a really clear idea of where he wanted to get to, right? Mobile, flexible, strong. He came to us. At first, it was challenging, right? We need to help Chris through some basics. Not being able to get up and off the floor is something that a lot of gyms wouldn't be able to work through. We happen to be a gym that can work through that kind of thing. And we started off slow, right? We would modify a lot of the movements that we were doing, but we were still doing everything that everybody else was doing in those group sessions. If everybody was squatting, Chris was squatting. He was maybe just squatting to a box instead of squatting to full depth or something like that. If we were doing push-ups, Chris was still doing a pressing movement. He was just maybe using some dumbbells or using a box or using something different. Whatever it was, he still got a modified version of that movement that would allow him to A, feel like he was a part of the group, B, progressing along with everybody else, and C, give us a stepping stone to get him to that true benchmark movement, which for him, later he'd discover that he wanted to learn how to like squat heavier weights and press more weights and do things like a pull up. But at the start, it just had to do with, can we get up and off the ground unassisted? Can we do it without hands, right? Just the power of our lower body being able to get us off the floor. That was a huge thing for him. Chris worked for us in the initial part of this program for 6 months. And over the course of those 6 months, we did some unbelievable things. We lost a little north of 25 pounds of fat. We gained I can't remember if it was 5 or 8 pounds of muscle. I probably should have put that up on my screen so that I know. But it was somewhere around like 5 to 8 pounds of muscle, which for a 73-year-old that was losing an extreme amount of fat in that period of time is phenomenal. All of his health markers started improving. His cholesterol was better. His blood pressure was better. I think we got him off a couple of his blood pressure meds, and the doctor was super happy about that. But more important than any of those things combined is the fact that Chris felt and knew that if something happened and he ended up on the floor, he was going to be able to get up without assistance. That was massive for him. So when we talk about strength training, when we talk about these programs, when we talk about these transformations that we do, I want you guys to understand that yeah, part of it is body composition. Obviously, a lot of people want to look leaner, want to be stronger, want to have some muscle mass. But for so many people, it goes beyond that. It's about your ability to do the things that you want to be able to do. For Chris and for those of us that are a little bit older, maybe it's simple things like getting up and off the floor, up and off the toilet, being able to walk on our own, feeling safe in our apartment or in our house without anybody there looking out for us because we know we can get off the floor and something happens. For others, it's maybe a little bit more advanced because we're younger and we want to be able to pick up snowboarding or biking or climbing if a friend invites us. I want you guys to have the ability to use your body for whatever you want to use your body for, but that requires a foundational level of strength, mobility, flexibility, proprioception, which is your ability to orient yourself in time and space. These are the types of things that are so, so, so important. Okay? And for those of you guys that are even further than Chris was when you want to start this program, if you can't get off the floor to begin with, I promise you we can work with that too. And there are people out there that can help you. Don't give up just because you feel like you're further back than most people. Wherever you are, start there and find somebody that helps you take one little step every day, every week, every month. You will get there. I promise. So, onto some practical advice about what to actually do about this. First things first, I want you to find either a group strength gym or a trainer. Okay? Those two things are non negotiable. We've worked with over 30,000 people for over a decade. And without a doubt, the single greatest predictor of success is somebody actually having a coach. We've tracked people that are in the system, people that are outside the system. We compare our data to InBody's global data. People that are working with a trainer or doing some group strength training stick to the program longer, get better results while they're on the program, and learn the things that they need to learn to be able to stick to a routine long term. Okay? You need somebody to teach you. You need somebody to help you skip all the BS and all the stuff that doesn't work. So find a group strength training gym or find a trainer. Okay? If you're trying to find a trainer, you're looking for people that are certified through NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine, or ACE, the American Council on Exercise, are two phenomenal governing bodies that have phenomenal trainers. Those are the places that we source people from. We actually are a continuing education provider for both of those entities. So we help train those trainers. They're great pools to pick from. Okay. They're not the only ones. They're just the ones that I would recommend for somebody just starting out. So that's number one. Find a group strength training gym, find a trainer. Number two, start small. You don't need to go from zero exercise to 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. It is completely unnecessary. The amount of progress that you can make just working out 30 minutes a day, 2 to 3 times a week, if you're a bare beginner, are monumental. Do something that's going to let you get into it and stick to it. That is the most important part, is that we stick to it on a consistent basis for an extensive period of time. Okay? So if starting small is going to get you there, amazing. If you find a program that you really love, right? If you want to do one of our programs and it's a little bit more involved, fantastic, as long as there's a structure. But if you're doing this by yourself, baby steps. Okay. And number three, probably the most important, I kind of hinted at it before, is whatever you do, just stay consistent. Okay. If you lift 3 or 4 or 5 or 12 times and then you abandon it for 6 months, you will have done absolutely nothing except for waste your time. Okay. So that's why I say start small. And after that, stay consistent, because if you are able to stick to something, even if it's once a week at the start, but you're able to do it for 12 weeks, 24 weeks, you are going to make an unbelievable amount of progress. Trust me, start small, but do it on a consistent basis. Okay. So, again, group strength gym or a trainer, it's going to make your journey so much smoother, so much easier. Make sure that you start small. So, anywhere between 1 and 3 times a week, 30 minutes to an hour is going to be fantastic. And number three, make sure that you're staying consistent in whatever you do. Don't overcomplicate it, just start. And if you need more resources along the way, don't worry, we're here to help. If you found value in this, just click on this other video here. You can find some other great content. Besides that, best of luck. I believe in you.